The Mike Wagner Show is powered by Sonic Web Studios. If you're looking to start or upgrade your online presence, visit www.sonicwebstudios.com for all of your online needs. Sonic Web Studios specializes in custom web design, app development, social networking, search engine optimization, domain registration, email marketing, online stores, and more. Since our birth, we have been designing and developing immaculate websites and providing web solutions which are a cut above the rest. As a leading web designing enterprise, we have a team of extremely talented web designers who are well-focused and have the experience of working on multiple web developing platforms such as PHP, Magento, custom WordPress, and more. Sonic Web Studios has been helping businesses of all kinds, whether big, small, established, or startup, impress their audiences with exemplary web solutions. We don't just create beautiful and functional websites. We give you a complete online solution with the main goal of enhancing your yearly revenues. We aim to give your business the online exposure and brand acknowledgement that will help you in achieving increased conversions leading to profitable sales. Call 1-800-303-3960 or visit us online at www.sonicwebstudios.com to get started today. Mention the Mike Wagner Show and get 20% off your project. Sonic Web Studios. Take your image to the next level.
It's now time for the Mike Wagner Show, powered by Sonic Web Studios. Visit online at sonicwebstudios.com for all your needs. The Mike Wagner Show can be heard on Spreaker, Spotify, iHeartRadio, YouTube, iTunes, Anchor FM, Radio Public, and the MikeWagnerShow.com. Mike brings you great guests and interesting people from all across the globe. So sit back, relax, and enjoy another great episode of the Mike Wagner Show.
Hey everybody, it's Mike from the Mike Wagner Show, powered by Sonic Web Studios. Visit online at sonicwebstudios.com for all your needs. Looking at a professional website without breaking your budget? Sonic Web Studios is the answer. Sonic Web Studios offers fast, affordable custom web designs that blow the competition away. Call today at 1-800-303-3960. That's 1-800-303-3960. Or email to support at sonicwebstudios.com. Mention the Mike Wagner Show, get 20% off your first project. Sonic Web Studios. Take your image to the next level. Also, the Mike Wagner Show can be heard on the MikeWagnerShow.com. You can check our Facebook page at Facebook.com/The Mike Wagner Show. You can download and listen on Facebook, SoundCloud, Spreaker, Spotify, and iHeartRadio. Also on Anchor FM, Radio Public, iTunes, Google Play, and over 25 podcast platforms. Take the Mike Wagner Show with you on any mobile device. Subscribe to the Mike Wagner Show on the YouTube channel. Also follow the Mike Wagner Show on Instagram and Twitter today. We're here with a wonderfully multi-talented lady who grew up in a Russian-Ukrainian household, and she's currently in Los Angeles. She is an actress. She also does some filmmaking. She also does some dancing as well, too, and we'll talk more about that. And she's currently a senior at Pizer College, and of course, you think she's been in Russia. We'll talk about that. And live, ladies and gentlemen, from the beautiful studios in downtown Los Angeles, the next up-and-coming singer will be featuring Hurting in just a minute from the Fool's Gold release. Ladies and gentlemen, the very multi-talented Kisa. Kisa, good morning, good afternoon, good evening. Thanks for joining us today.
Good morning. What an introduction. I feel so flattered.
Well, it's great to have you on as well, too, becoming a next superstar. And, of course, when you do make it, it's like I'll say, I've been flattered to talk to you. So, So you grew up in a Russian-Ukrainian household. You're born and raised in L.A. You have a song called Hurting. We'll play in just a minute. You began dancing at the age of 2. You discovered acting and filmmaking, and you also started doing your own works, and you performed as a heels dancer at the age of 18, currently a senior at Pizer College and more. And before we get into all that, tell us how you first got started.
Oh, gosh, how I first got started. Well, all right, since I was little, I had an imagination that I just had to live out. I would tell my mom all these stories I had in my head, and then I was obsessed with iMovie, right? So iMovie was just my whole world. I would make little movies, dress up with different wigs, and then I would play every single character and write this screenplay. And I just told my mom, I said, Mom, I want to be an actor. I want to be on camera. I want to tell stories and live different lives. And so she said, okay. So she put me into acting school, and for a while I was studying, training in acting, and there was just this obsession I had with living different lives and telling different truths. And I always told my mom, it's strange, I'm a bad liar, but I feel like I'm a good actor. So it's so obviously I'm telling my truth in some way. So yeah, from there, I also was dancing. So that kind of plays into a little bit the Russian-Ukrainian side of me. It's very popular to have your child grow up doing ballet and gymnastics. So I started ballet at age 2, I think. Yeah, 2. Mm-hmm. And I was doing it all up until 10 years old. And I actually advanced really fast, and my mom was really surprised. And so what a shame, but I actually stopped dancing for a bit. So I didn't dance for a really long time until, by really long, I mean 17 or 18, so 7 years. But yeah, so my dancing didn't pick up again until 17 or 18, really. In middle school, I danced a little bit here and there, but I started to really get more passionate about it. So overall, and even in dancing, there was something about dancing where I'm still telling a story. It's all about communicating my emotions with the movements. And so anything that had storytelling in it, I was just in love with it. And that's another thing. I started with poetry. So all these creative outlets started to just pop up in my life, and I started to realize I have a voice. I have something to say. And that's when I was in Pitzer. I'm still at Pitzer College studying media studies, and I played volleyball for my college, actually. I played volleyball for 7 years of my life, and I realized that something was missing. For some reason, I wasn't dancing, I wasn't singing, I had stopped all creative outlets, and I had become so sad, and I couldn't snap out of it. And so I actually lived in Ukraine. I went to Ukraine to live with my dad for 6 months, took a semester off college. I just said, you know what, let's go. Let's do something crazy. I think I need to rediscover what I want to do. Mm-hmm. And there, I decided to pick up dancing and singing. I said, you know what, I've always loved art forms. I might as well try something new. And I found this passion for both that I had never known I had. And I came back and I told my mom, and my mom, I call her my momager. She is my biggest supporter, and she pushes me to strive for the best. She just always believes in me more than anyone in this world. So she told me, you know what, you have a voice, and it's different. It's different from a lot of people, and you have something to say, and you have all these stories. So turn your poetry into songs. And I said, okay, let me try it. And from there, I started to meet more musicians at my college and then outside of college, and I started to record a few ideas I had. And so I found my producer, Adrian Coda, and he and I started to work on Hurting. And I actually came in and I said, God, I've had an awful day. I feel so sad. I said, all these emotions are arising. And he said, you know what? Just write about it. Sing it to me. So, yeah, that's basically how I got into it and to where I am now.
Wow, that is amazing. We'll play that song later in the broadcast as well, too. You said you lived in the Ukraine for about 6 months. What was it like up there during the 6 months?
It was really different. I got to connect back to my roots. I feel like I really have a strong connection to my Russian side and my Ukrainian side. And so being there was really eye-opening because I got to see a different environment than what I had been in for so long. So when I was there, my family's all about creating. They're all about, you know what, you want to start something, then start it. And so I decided to start my own English teaching school, which by school, I mean, it was just me. So I created a website, I created a Facebook page, and I started to meet kids around the area. And by kids, I mean, in college. And I started to just teach them English, and they loved it because my approach was so much. I'm very against textbook. I like to, visual learning and learning by talking and doing, and they just loved it. And so I even went to universities in Ukraine, and I taught English and just had a conversation course. And so that made my experience really special. I realized that no matter where I am in the world, I can start creating. I can create something new. So
wow.
It's pretty amazing.
Wow, that's amazing. And you say you're against textbooks in the Ukraine, you say? And what was the learning system like, or the school system like in the Ukraine compared to the United States, especially in Los Angeles?
I think that there must be a pretty big difference. If I were to study in Ukraine, it would be completely different. My mom and I always talk about how her education was, and they're very strict. I mean, American schools are also very hard and very well regarded, but in Ukraine, I mean, I met a girl there through dance, and she was telling me about how she was studying law. And not only law, but they have to teach it in English too. So some of the terms that she was telling me in her law courses that she was learning in English, I didn't even know in English. So they are very advanced and very hardworking. But what I was saying about being against textbooks, I just meant that when I was teaching it, I realized that these kids were going through so much textbook learning. So I was like, I'm going to relieve them of any textbook education style and just have them talk in English. And I could see that it took a lot of stress off of them.
It sounds like it too. And you also did some poems as well too. And how much poetry did you guys do in the Ukraine as well too? I'd like to hear some of your poems in your native tongue, by the way.
Oh my gosh, my poems. Actually, I just remembered. It started in 10th grade when I had this English teacher. His name was Nathan Klum, and he was the strictest teacher in the whole school. And so many kids were afraid of him, and I absolutely loved him. I adored him because I would come to class every day, and he would tell me either, this isn't your best work, or this is great. And I knew he would mean it when he said this is great. And I remember meeting with him and starting to actually really love writing poems. And I would write all of these really, metaphoric poems and talk to him about it. And we would just sit for hours and go over poetry. And he would show me his poems. And it was definitely it's interesting because I feel like I've always been that way, where if someone believes in me or if a teacher shows me their passion for a subject, I immediately feel the same. And that definitely was a game changer. I was 15. Yeah.
Wow, that is amazing. Can you recite some poetry in your native tongue, or maybe just think of something off the top of your head? We'd love to hear what you got.
Gosh, let me see. I actually have a notepad. Okay. You know what I'm going to do? I'm going to show this song that I have not released, and actually we're mid-recording, but I wrote lyrics to them, and it definitely resonated with me.
Okay.
Okay. So I wrote, "For we are not born liars. Through life we think that fire will put out any pain we feel we have. No, we are not born sinners. Yes, we are born as winners. Through life somehow we lose a bit of heart. At birth we see no color. We never had a stutter when saying that we love no matter what. And life was not a search for a way to prove our worth. We were born to love ourselves no matter what." And then I went on. This is all just raw notes, but I went on and said, "Love finds us in different forms, teaching some of us to let go of any societal norms we have been programmed to believe are in our hearts. But the truth is that we are born with no limits. We believe we are gifted. We ignore any way we are perceived." And then it went back into, "For we are not born liars." And so that, strangely enough, I get so inspired when I drive. And so I'll have all of these ideas. I'll even just drive around the neighborhood. And I was driving, and in my head, with everything going on, I was thinking about how I don't understand how some people will go on and tell lies or just be malicious towards other people. And I thought, you know what, when we're born, we don't have that in our hearts. So it must happen while we grow up. Some sort of programming must change our minds to believe that. So that's where the first thing that came to my head was, we are not born liars.
Oh, okay. I was referring to what you just said, like in Russian or Ukrainian as well. That's what I was trying to get at. So, or at least just a line or two.
Oh, I don't have any poems in Ukrainian or Russian, all in English because I wrote them throughout high school.
Oh, gotcha. Okay. All right. We can do that another time as well, too. Let's not stress it. Okay. That's no worries. Or maybe you can just give us a few lines in Russian, like say, hello, good afternoon, where's the bathroom, or anything like that. So.
Oh, my gosh. I would joke with my dad that there is this. So in a Russian store, you could hear two Russians talking, and you'd think that they are arguing over something insane and super, just yelling at each other, but really they're just asking each other what kind of milk they want. So it would sound something like, "Я хочу кашу с молоком. Ну какое молоко? Ну 2%. Не 2%." And it's just funny to hear like the dynamics with the Russian language. It's so emotional and it's so passionate. And so you can hear that. Definitely, that was always a joke.
Know what I say? Me vodka.
Me vodka. Oh my gosh, yes. Whenever people ask me to say something in Russian, or they say, "Oh, I have a lot of Russian friends. They teach me vodka," and I'm like,
drink up to that one here. So, all right, we'll talk about more about your career and how you got started as well, too. But first, listen to The Mike Wagner Show at themikewagnershow.com. It's powered by Sonic Web Studios. Visit online at sonicwebstudios.com for all your needs. Look at a professional website without breaking your budget. Sonic Web Studios is the answer. Sonic Web Studios offers fast, affordable custom web designs that blow the competition away. Call today, 1-800-303-3960. That's 1-800-303-3960. Or email to support@sonicwebstudios.com. Mention the Mike Wagner Show. Get 20% off your first project. Sonic Web Studios. Take your image to the next level. Also, the Mike Wagner Show can be heard on themikewagnershow.com. You can check our Facebook page at facebook.com/The Mike Wagner Show. You can download and listen on Facebook, SoundCloud, Spreaker, Spotify, and iHeartRadio. Also on Anchor FM, Radio Public, iTunes, Google Play, and over 25 podcast platforms. Take the Mike Wagner Show with you on any mobile device. Subscribe to the Mike Wagner Show on the YouTube channel. Also follow the Mike Wagner Show on Instagram and Twitter today. We're here with the multi-talented Kisa, who was born and raised in L.A., grew up in a Russian-Ukrainian household, and began dancing at the age of 2, and also discovered acting and filmmaking at the age of 8. She's got a song that's coming up in just a few minutes right here. And you talked earlier about, just performing out movies, making your own, and dancing and everything. What are some of your favorite movies growing up?
That's a hard question. But I would say... So I have always loved the movie, more recently, Inception and 21 Jump Street. Those were some of my favorite movies. And I have to be biased because my mom was a director, and her husband actually made their own movie called Slipaway. So I have always supported them, and I've always, whenever people ask me that question, I'm like, you have to watch this, because I'm such a proud daughter.
Okay. All right. And also, who are some of your favorite artists and singers and actresses growing up?
Okay, so I am absolutely in love with Nina Simone. I could listen to her all day and every day. I think that her passion definitely inspired me to write from my heart. Same with Etta James, those artists, and Ray Charles. Those three definitely are huge inspirations when it comes to writing from my heart and putting a lot of passion to my music. More recently, I actually have been really loving 2 Feet. I don't know if you've heard of him, but he has this explosiveness to his music that is so amazing. And I'll just be driving, and his chorus is always giving me chills. And also Lana Del Rey. I love Lana. She's so soothing and has such an amazing and different tone that you can just recognize her. So those are definitely some of my inspirations.
Mm-hmm. And it sounds like it as well, too. We'll play your song Hurting in just a minute, but first listen to The Mike Wagner Show at themikewagnershow.com. It's powered by Sonic Web Studios. Visit online at sonicwebstudios.com for all your needs. Look on a professional website without breaking our budget. Sonic Web Studios is the answer. Sonic Web Studios offers fast, affordable custom web designs that blow the competition away. Call today at 1-800-303-3960. 1-800-303-3960. That's 1-800-303-3960. Or email to support@sonicwebstudios.com. Mention the Mike Wagner Show. Get 20% off your first project. Sonic Web Studios. Take your image to the next level. Also, the Mike Wagner Show can be heard on the MikeWagnerShow.com. You can check our Facebook page at Facebook.com/The Mike Wagner Show. You can download and listen on Facebook, SoundCloud, Spreaker, Spotify, and iHeartRadio. Also on Anchor FM, Radio Public, iTunes, Google Play, and Apple. Over 25 podcast platforms. Take the Mike Wagner Show on any mobile device. Subscribe to the Mike Wagner Show on the YouTube channel. Also follow the Mike Wagner Show on Instagram and Twitter today. We're here with the multi-talented Kisa, born and raised in L.A. in a Russian-Korean household here on the Mike Wagner Show. And we have a new song out called Hurting by Kisa right here on the Mike Wagner Show. Give it a listen, and we'll talk more about it right after this here.
Don't cry. You don't have a reason. Stay quiet. Keep it all hidden. You say you don't mind it this way. You know when you're lying in your skin.
That's Kisa with Hurting here on the Mike Wagner Show. And tell us more about that song, Hurting, and what influenced you to write it, Kisa.
So I actually went into my producer's studio and I told him, you know what, nothing's been going right today. I've been feeling really down and all these emotions that I can't really explain with words. And he said, okay, then sing it. Tell me what you're feeling. And we had another co-writer there, and we just started playing around with melodies, and I started into the mic just saying what I felt. And in the long run, actually, in the end, is pretty similar to what I first said. I said I really want my first song to be my truth, and I changed very few lyrics after it. So it was a very impulsive and genuine and just raw song. And I'm very happy with it because I feel like it's my truth.
And you also have Fool's Gold as well, too, and some others. Tell us more about those.
Yes. So I actually just released the Hurting visual, the music video, to go along on my YouTube channel. So I'm very excited about that. That was filmed completely in my home. So that was filmed in my room and in my garage, and through just good camera work and editing, it actually turned out to look very well done. So I'm very happy with it. And it was also very raw and genuine. So that just came out, and I'm working on my release for Fool's Gold, which is, I'm assuming, we haven't completely set the date, but I'm aiming for August 15th. And that I'm super excited about because of the music video, actually. We went to Joshua Tree probably before quarantine started. We took it on ourselves to make a really amazing music video. So we went to Joshua Tree and filmed insane visuals. So we're just excited to release and put that out there for the world to see.
And looking forward to it. And where can we find your music at again?
Hurting?
Yes.
You can find it on all platforms on Spotify under Kisa, Kisa, all capitals. Hurting will be there.
All right, that's fantastic. We're here with Russian Ukrainian bred and also born in L.A., Kisa, multi-talented Kisa here on the Mike Wagner Show. A few minutes here. We'd love to have you back on as well, too. And just a couple more things here. What can we expect from you from 2020 and beyond, Kisa?
Well, 2020 is a lot of creation. I've been literally the past 48 hours sitting and writing. So I have a lot on my mind, a lot of stories I want to tell. So 2020 is a lot of creation. And 2021, I'm actually very excited for, because I'm going to start releasing. And I'm just hoping that people will start to see my stories and my truths, and I can get it out there enough for people to really relate and enjoy. So I'm very excited for the next year and beyond. And
we're looking forward to it as well, too. And just a couple of things. Who do you consider biggest influence in your career?
I'm going to be so cheesy when I say my mom, but artist-wise, I would definitely say Lana Del Rey and Alicia Keys also. Artist-wise, they have really inspired me with Alicia Keys' soul and Lana's tone. So they have really been a big inspiration. But overall in my whole life, 100% my mother, because when I'm self-doubting and I'm not giving enough credit to the actual art that I'm doing, she's the first person to always say, and she actually had a recording deal back in the day, so she has a great ear, and she's always the first person to really knock me back into place and say, you have talent, you need to believe in yourself, and the only way you're going to succeed if you see it and envision it. So,
And that's very true as well, too. And what's the best advice you can give to anybody at this point?
I would say act from your heart, because everyone has such a different message and has such a different voice, and if we're all just genuine with our art and really just real ourselves, then we're all going to be creating such different things, and our world is going to be filled with art that's just so unique. So if you're just starting out, or if you're at the same place as I am, or even further on, speak your truth, because we all want to hear something different. We don't want to hear what's already out there. And
that's so true as well, too. Once again, the multi-talented Kisa here on the Mike Wagner Show. Kisa, big thank you for your time. You've been fantastic. Looking forward to having you again soon. And once again, tell us about your upcoming projects. What's your website? How do people contact you? And where can people purchase or listen to your music?
Yeah, so my website is kisa-music.com. And on there, you can see my press kit. You can look at the sneak peek of the Fool's Gold video. You can listen to me on Spotify, Apple Music under Kisa, Kisa. My Instagram as of now is Krylov Kale, so KRILOVEKAYL. Hopefully soon it'll change to Kisa Music. But yeah, I'm very excited to be able to connect with people through my music and hopefully get more of an audience.
That's fantastic. Once again, Kisa, a big thank you for your time. You've been fantastic. Looking forward to having you again soon. Do us a favor, keep us up to date. Love to have back on in 2020 and beyond. You've been fantastic.
Oh, thank you so much for having me.
The Mike Wagner Show is powered by Sonic Web Studios. If you're looking to start or upgrade your online presence, visit www.sonicwebstudios.com for all of your online needs. Sonic Web Studios specializes in custom web design, app development, social networking, search engine optimization, domain registration, email marketing, online stores, and more. Since our birth, we have been designing and developing immaculate websites and providing web solutions which are a cut above the rest. As a leading web designing enterprise, we have a team of extremely talented web designers who are well-focused and have the experience of working on multiple web developing platforms such as PHP, Magento, custom WordPress, and more. Sonic Web Studios has been helping businesses of all kinds, whether big, small, established, or startup, impress their audiences with exemplary web solutions. We don't just create beautiful and functional websites. We give you a complete online solution with the main goal of enhancing your yearly revenues. We aim to give your business the online exposure and brand acknowledgement that will help you in achieving increased conversions leading to profitable sales. Call 1-800-303-3960 or visit us online at www.sonicwebstudios.com to get started today. Mention the Mike Wagner Show and get 20% off your project. Sonic Web Studios. Take your image to the next level.
Thanks for listening to the Mike Wagner Show, powered by Sonic Web Studios. Visit online at sonicwebstudios.com for all your needs. The Mike Wagner Show can be heard on Spreaker, Spotify, iHeartRadio, iTunes, YouTube, Anchor FM, Radio Public, and themikewagnershow.com. Please support our program with your donations at themikewagnershow.com. Join us again next time for another great episode of The Mike Wagner Show.